It was only when I met my boyfriend's family that I found out he was the heir to Scolaris' most powerful mafia family. The Cabello's family rules stated that any woman who would become the Donna of their family was required to have 50 million worth of personal assets to their name. For Ian Cabello's sake, I scrimped and saved and worked hard in the real estate industry to finally save up 40 million. However, my company started to face problems when we started to lose contract. I failed to put together the remaining 10 million, no matter how hard I tried. Ian held me in his arms to comfort me, as he told me how he would figure out a plan to help me put the money together. When my little sister suffered a sudden heart attack and required a large amount to pay for the surgery fees, I tried swiping 3 cards but discovered that I did not have enough money in them to make the payment. I hurried to the bank to inquire about the insufficient funds, only to be told by the cashier that there was no money in my account. How was that possible? I had saved up my hard-earned 40 million in the accounts. The person in charge looked at me guiltily. There was a 40 million withdrawal by Signorino Ian to purchase a villa to be gifted to Signorina Lucy Carter as her birthday present. Chapter 1. My mind went blank when I saw Ian Cabello's signature on the purchase record. I quickly ran into his study to demand an explanation, but when I was about to push the door open, I overheard the conversation inside. Signorino Ian, the bank just informed us that Miss Salvatore tried to withdraw money, but the bank stopped the transaction. The man speaking was Ian's right-hand man, and my hand froze at the door handle when I heard his word. Good. Ian sighed. Lucy has always been sensitive because she lost her parents at a young age. Hopefully, the properties I purchased for her will give her a sense of security. It should be a token of Haley's sincerity as well. His right-hand man hesitated before replying. I heard that Miss Salvatore's company has been facing some issues lately. Could this be a financial emergency? It's all part of my plan. Ian interrupted him and said with indifference, Lucy isn't ready for this. We should postpone the wedding and wait until Lucy can accept it. My blood froze. Ian was the one responsible for the predicament I was in, and his sole purpose was to postpone the wedding because he wanted to protect the feelings of another woman. My hand pressed against my chest as I could hardly breathe from the pain. I was about to barge into the study to confront Ian when I received a message from the hospital. Miss Salvatore, your sister is in dire straits. She has to have the operation right away. If you can't pay for the surgery, we're afraid. A notice of critical illness was sent to me next. My mind went blank instantly. I no longer cared about my dignity and anger. None of that was important right now as I barged into the study as tears streamed down my face. Ian, I need a loan of 3 million. It's for an emergency. Ian looked at me in astonishment. What's going on? Calm down. I'll get to it right away, he said as he took out his checkbook. Don't, Ian. A coquettish voice stopped him. Lucy walked into the study and stared accusingly at me. How can you take a loan from Ian? Haley. Don Cabello hates it most when someone goes against the rules. She grabbed Ian's hand. You can't do this to Haley. If Don Cabello finds out that Haley cheated with that money, he won't agree to your marriage. Ian sighed helplessly and put away the checkbook. Lucy is right, Haley. The Cabello family practices strict family rules, and she's only saying this for your own good. Hang in there for a while longer. I believe in you. I was covered in sweat from panic, and I grabbed Ian, trying to tell him about my little sister's condition. However, Lucy called in the bodyguards to force me out of the study. Don't make this difficult for Ian, Haley. I could only watch as the doors shut in front of me. I tried to call for a taxi to the hospital, but saw Lucy's posting on social media instead. It was pictures of expensive gifts she received with the caption, even though I lost my father at a young age, he saved a boy who later became the greatest big brother a girl could have. My big brother's entire family treats me just like a princess. I'm the happiest girl in the world. My hands started shaking. Was this the sister Ian claimed to feel insecure? Were her insecurities so bad that she needed what little money I had to buy a house? While she was bragging about her presents, which were worth millions, my sister had lost a chance at life because of this woman. I stumbled all the way to the hospital only to see my sister's cold body. The doctor shook his head. You're too late. If you had only managed to pay the surgery fees 30 minutes earlier. I fell limply to the ground, and my trembling hands reached out to caress my sister's pale face while tears silently fell from my eyes. I had lost my last remaining family member in this world. It took me a long time before I snapped out of my daze to dial a number I had never called before. It was the number of the man I had unintentionally saved 5 years ago on a business trip. You told me before that you would fulfill a wish of mine unconditionally. Does the promise still hold? Chapter 2. My sister's funeral took me 3 days to organize. Many people showed up to pay their respect, but Ian acted like he had no idea that she had died. He did not show up or even give me a call, much less stay by my side to comfort me. I was reminded of when I had worked 2 consecutive weeks to pull in company sales, only to pass out from exhaustion and be hospitalized. Ian broke out in cold sweat from panicking over my condition, and he held my hand to say, you scared me, Haley. Stop overworking yourself. I'll figure out how to get the money. All you need to do is take good care of yourself. Ian's deep concern for me meant nothing as he immediately gave Lucy everything that I had worked hard to earn. I took out my phone to call Ian, but instead saw Lucy's latest post on my screen. Ian said I was the only woman good enough to own the jewelry that was the grand finale of today's auction. The caption was accompanied by a picture of a pink diamond necklace worth 30 million. When I tried to discuss our wedding with Ian the last few days, he seemed distracted. It was because he had been busy bidding on necklaces for Lucy for the last few days. He had been checking for updates on his phone for auction items because he wanted to pick a gift for Lucy. I closed my eyes tiredly. I felt exhausted mentally and physically. When I got home, I saw Ian's shoes the moment I opened the door. Since revealing his identity to me, it had been a long time since Ian came to my house. When Ian saw me come home, he came to hug me lovingly like he always did. I miss you so much, honey. You don't look very well. Is it your headache again? then? Ian cleared his throat when I stayed silent, and he continued awkwardly, are you still feeling unhappy about what Lucy said? I apologize on her behalf. It's the family's rules, after all. Please don't be mad at her, alright? Don't be anxious about putting the rest of the money together. I'll help you figure something out, and I promise you'll have a grand wedding. I smiled sarcastically. It all depended on Lucy's mood on whether we would have a wedding or not. I'm not in a hurry to get married, so there is no need for you to apologize on her behalf. Ian's smile froze when I refused to accept the apology. You can't be mad at Lucy just because she stopped you from cheating when you knew that money had to be earned by you, Haley. I'm not mad at her. I just don't feel like saving up for that 50 million anymore. I interrupted him. Ian wanted to continue lecturing me, but choked back his words with his mouth agape. He looked at me anxiously. Why are you giving up? If things have been really difficult, I don't mind secretly loaning you some money. I looked at him closely. Why had I never realized he could act so well? Ian had been giving me trouble behind my back, but acted like he was deeply in love when facing me. This reminded me of how I had nearly drunk myself to death just to secure a contract for a shopping mall development project. The moment the contract was signed, the project was halted because of an issue during the assessment stage. Rumors of the land having problems and the previous developer losing money on the land started to spread from nowhere. I was branded as a con woman in the industry, and my investors started to pull out. Not only was I left with an unprofitable land, but I had to deal with compensation for breach of contract as well. Ian had fought for me then and worked hard at safeguarding my reputation. Who would have thought that he was the one behind everything? Yes, he was the one who said that he had plotted all of this. That night, I heard Ian on his phone when I passed by his study on my way to the kitchen for a glass of water. Stop the plan against Haley's company. With her current reputation, she won't be able to put the money together even if we stood by and did nothing. I wiped away the tears from the corner of my eye. He no longer had to do anything of the sort because I no longer wanted to marry him. I was about to walk away when I heard him pick up another call from Lucy. Ian. Lucy's coquettish voice was heard coming from the other end of the call. I got caught by the butler for sneaking into the underground casino. Can you help cover for me? You just can't stop making me worry, can you? Ian said adoringly. You know our family rules don't allow you to do something like that, but you still had to sneak in there. Fine, I'll help you, but this is the only time. It sounded like the strict family rules applied only to me. I was reminded of how they treated me when they stopped me from loaning the money with such righteousness. I turned away because I no longer wanted to listen to their conversation. When I returned to my bedroom, I sent another message to that number. I'm ready to leave. After that, I pulled out my luggage and started packing. What are you doing? Where are you going?